everybody. You are tuned in for the first episode of the 2024-2025 season with Fred and Dre of the Flea Flicker Show. You can check us out really wherever you get your podcast. Check us out on Instagram at Flea Flicker Show. We're more than happy to touch base, give you some fantasy advice. Hit us up in the DMs and check out the bio for some pretty cool merch. I got one of our shirts on right now for my Binghamton, New York people. Speedy's repping that. Flea Flicker Show repping that. So, not repping a good camera here myself. That camera quality is lacking. Promised for an update to come. Dre,
having some
how you been?
difficulties
What we
in the
got
tech
going
department.
on?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Lovely people. Hello. It's been a while since we've been on. We talked about like the draft, I think, last time we were on here. Kind of just took a couple months off there for the off season. So it's fun to be back. I like talking about football. I like talking about football with you personally, Fred. I think it's a good time, and we got quite a bit of news to cover in today's pod. We're gonna hit you with all the injuries that are going on, a bunch of contract disputes, and possible contract signings coming soon, hopefully. There was a big trade. There were a couple trades, but really only one notable one. And then we're going to talk about some performances and how we think some guys might do this coming season. So, yeah, it should be a good pod. It should be fun. Get some information out there. Fred, what do you want to start with, man?
Well, first off, it's like I said, it's been a while since we last talked to people, so a lot of things have probably happened here over the last couple months. How's your summer been, man?
Ooh.
What are you and the lady been doing this summer? Have you gone and seen any cool places? Done anything crazy?
That's a good question. Let's get into some details. Honestly, we didn't do all that much. We went to Tennessee for Kaya's birthday. That was a good time. We went tubing and we hit up Nashville for the first time I've ever been there. It's freaking crowded, by the way. We went to that bar that that country singer threw the chair off the roof.
Oh, Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, Morgan Wallen. Yeah, that was interesting. It was a good time. It was fun. Other than that, though, honestly, I've been doing a lot of. Oh, I got a new job, so there's that. It's kind of the same job, but I work like in the hospital instead of in the warehouse now. So stocking the ORs. So that's fun.
Nice.
What about you?
Crushing it. Things are good. I mean, it's just the parent life, right? So, like Jack said, fucking maniac, and we go through every night without getting any sleep because he's kicking me in the back of the head because he comes to our room every single night after he wakes up at 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. Comes into our room, lays in our bed, he's kicking me in the back of the head, and he gets a lot of good sleep. I don't get good sleep. Neither does Talia.
He's a little menace.
But, yeah. Tried burn ends. Made my first burn ends this year. They turned out to be a killer hit. Everyone at our inaugural barbecue, not inaugural, but our
I
annual
don't even
barbecue.
know what that is. Can you explain that to me and the people?
Yeah, you can do it with either brisket, pork belly. I chose pork belly. So it's essentially just taking the thick pork fat that's right from the stomach, and you are cutting it into very small pieces, placing it onto a cookie sheet, covering that with a rub, cooking that on the smoker for about 3 hours or so, and then from there, taking that, putting it into a pan of sorts, like an aluminum pan, putting that onto the smoker. But only difference is instead of rub, it's now cooking in your choice of barbecue sauce for like 45 minutes to an hour. And then it gets all kind of like caramelized, and they kind of like just melt in your mouth. They're delicious.
That sounds absolutely delicious. Maybe we should start a cooking with Fred little angle here. A couple minutes every episode.
We could try.
Just kidding. That's not what the people want. The people want football.
I'll ship you out some food.
I won't be able to eat it, unfortunately. Kaya can. Yeah, that's another update from this summer. Actually, I can't eat red meat for the foreseeable future. So that's no fun. Stay healthy, people. Don't let your cholesterol get high. Yeah, but you got anything else for us, or?
I think I'm good there. I mean, a little catch up, little I don't know, a little catch up there. But yeah, let's just get into the football season. I'm excited for this year. We definitely got to catch a game. We got to go visit John Mark down in Atlanta, catch a Falcons game, see my boy Bijan play in person. That should be a fun time. But I think the one we really got to get to is Giants Philly. Whether it's at MetLife or at the Link, doesn't really matter. I'm in Philly, so I'd prefer the Link, but either way, it's fine. Either way, I think we're both wearing a Barkley jersey. So
Yeah. That's why I want the
that,
Eagles.
yeah.
I want to get heckled like insanely at an Eagles game with a Saquon Barkley jersey. I think it'd be hilarious.
Oh, you will.
I feel
You
like it
will.
won't be
You
too
will get
expensive
heckled.
either because it's literally the last game of the year, and I kind of, based on preseason performance, I kind of assume the Giants will be out of it by then. So we'll see though.
I don't think any Eagles ticket is cheap. They're all pretty expensive.
Are
I
they?
think I feel like honestly, any of the like tenured teams, the teams that have been around the block for a bit, you look at the Giants, the Eagles, um, you're looking at the Cowboys. Even if they aren't good, they're still going to be expensive. Bears tickets are
Yeah,
still going to be
it's a
expensive if they're
rivalry
not good.
game
But
too, so I suppose that's part of
yeah,
it.
yeah, it's not like we're what was it, Panthers, Falcons last year. We're giving tickets away for like $10 or something like that. It
Hmm.
literally would have cost. We talked about it last year. It would have cost us less to fly to the game and go to a game there than go to a game in like Philly.
Which is a little ridiculous. You did mention the Cowboys, though. I want to talk about the Cowboys for a minute, if that's cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the Cowboys are in a heated contract dispute with not one but two of their players. I suppose one of them is not really a dispute as much as he just doesn't have a contract yet. But Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb both are gonna be free agents at the end of the year, and the Cowboys kind of need to figure their stuff out. CeeDee Lamb is taking the more aggressive approach, and he's been holding out. If the Cowboys don't pay CeeDee Lamb, and honestly, he probably wants to be like the highest paid receiver. If they don't pay CeeDee Lamb in the next week, I could see him holding out of week one entirely.
Yeah, like what's going to happen here? I mean, you're going to see the same scenario that's going on with Brandon Ayuk, where if he doesn't get paid, he's going to be demanding a trade. So at this point, right now, with Ayuk, a little update there, it looks like he's probably going to resign with the 49ers. They seem to be closer to finding a deal, finding common ground there. If the Cowboys can't find common ground with CD, like he's going to be gone. And they can certainly get a king's ransom for him. He's probably the best receiver, if not he's at least top 5, top 3 probably in the NFL. Whether he's top receiver just depends really who you talk to, what specific aspect you're looking at. But I mean, the dude can ball, and if they don't pay him, their season's fucking toast. Like they're done.
Yeah, I agree.
Without CD,
It'll be
they're
rough.
nothing.
Yeah, they don't have too many weapons outside of CeeDee Lamb. I mean, they brought Zeke back, but he's not Zeke. He's
Come on,
whatever
come on.
he is now. he's him. He's not him, rather. But CeeDee Lamb, yeah, CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. I think the Cowboys are kind of approaching the situation like they're gonna restart possibly after, depending on what happens this year. I do think CeeDee Lamb is going to be getting paid this week at some point. I don't think they're gonna let him walk. Dak, though, I don't think he's going to get paid until they see what happens this year. And I actually have a theory on that. I want you to hear it from me first, because I don't know if anyone else has this theory. But I think Jerry is literally looking at Colorado right now to see what they do in college. And I could see him pulling the whole bait and switch. Let Dak walk, can the fat boy Mike as the head coach, and hire Deion Sanders and draft his kid, Shea, and completely restart the Cowboys.
Dude, that would just be like absolute chaos in the media. I mean, like Dion and Shea, like in Dallas.
That would be such a story. They'd pull in
I
so
can't
many
even
tickets
fathom
on
it.
their own.
Like I can't even. My mind just can't comprehend the amount of like sheer vanity that would be in that building at that point. Like just
the
the amount of I don't know. I don't even know what I'm looking for in terms
They'd
of
be the
words.
most
Like
hated team in the league, like immediately, I think.
immediately.
Other
Immediately.
than
I mean,
Cowboys
Shea
fans.
would come in day one thinking that he's the top shit, like he's the best QB in the league. He's better than Pat Mahomes. He's going to the Cowboys. He's gonna run shit. Get the fuck out of here. I mean,
Dion
I
talking all
talked
the
to you about
shit.
that already. What was he was the second highest rated quarterback in NCAA 25, Or was it
Yeah,
the
I think
first
so.
highest? Was he the highest?
Was he the highest? I don't remember, to be honest.
I don't
He
remember,
might have
but
been behind Brock. I don't remember.
either way, his rating was ridiculous, undeserved. I mean, he's not
This
bad. I just don't think he's the truth. Anyway, but those two guys in Dallas would be absolute chaos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
the
find
media'd
out
have a
soon though.
field day. Skip Bayless would
Theoretically,
have a field day.
my theory could be absolutely destroyed this week if Dak Prescott signs a new contract, though. So we'll see.
Yeah, but
We will see.
I don't know. Who
He's not
knows?
holding out
I
at
mean,
all, though.
I've seen rumors that Jerry Jones does value getting Dak signed over getting CD signed, which is absolutely fucking stupid. Um,
Speedy the Beast.
Dak certainly is not a kingmaker. He's not a Matt Stafford in that aspect, where whoever he has as a receiver is going to be a
He's
stud. He's
yeah, he's
shown
like a
it with
Kirk Cousin.
He's shown it when CD can't play. When CD can't play, his conversion percentage is dramatically less. He has dramatically less yardage, dramatically less TDs, and that's going to happen when your top receiver goes down. But if you can't then take the extra pieces that are there on your roster and make it work with those guys, no.
Yeah. Let's switch it up though. You did mention Brandon Ayuk. He literally like what a week, 2 weeks ago, he was like on the verge of being traded to the Steelers. They were also talking about the Browns, the Patriots, and the Commanders. All of these trade opportunities have fallen through for whatever reason, various reasons between them all. And like you said, it seems like Brandon Ayuk now is probably going to re-sign with the 49ers. I think he's lost
Yeah.
most of his leverage. He's still a good player, so he has some leverage, but at this point, I don't know what his agent can get since they can't find a trade partner for him.
No. And I mean, they certainly have been able to find trade partners. I just think it's the San Francisco wants too much for him, and the other teams are balking at what they're wanting in return. I mean, to get to the point where they almost have a deal in place for the Steelers, almost have a deal in place for the Commanders, like almost have a deal in place for him to go to Cleveland, and the rumor was that they were going to include Amari Cooper in that deal. So what the fuck are the 49ers asking for?
Well,
Who do they
with the
think that
Browns,
Brandon Ayuk is?
with the Browns, I heard that it was Brandon Ayuk that canned that one. He didn't want to go to
I mean,
Cleveland.
I can't blame him.
Yeah, I couldn't blame him if he didn't want to go to any of these teams. To be honest, maybe the Commanders. I could see him wanting to play with Jaden Daniels, but the rest of them, I don't know about that. So
Yeah, I don't know. Especially since going to Pittsburgh, you don't know if he's going to be the top dog. Pittsburgh is going to pay George Pickens, and they seem pretty committed to giving him wide receiver one money. Would they then give Brandon Ayuk wide receiver money alongside with him? So there's certainly a lot of contention there. He definitely wants to be the top guy wherever he's at. And I know in San Francisco, there's Debo there as well. So what's going to happen there?
yeah. So do you
Will
think
Debo
Ayuk's
be on
going
a
to get
move
paid?
next?
Do you think Ayuk's going to get paid?
Yeah,
I do too. I think he'll get paid.
yeah.
I think him and CeeDee Lamb will both get paid this week. But we'll see. We will see.
Yeah. I
Speaking
think
of the
he'll get paid.
49ers,
And if he gets paid, I could see something happening with Debo going somewhere else. Just
it
because that's a
could.
lot of salary to be keeping there.
It could. But they're still in their Super Bowl window, so they shouldn't be offloading these receivers. But we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, they did just draft two receivers pretty early in the draft.
Who's the second one?
They drafted one in the beginning of the second round, and
Yeah.
then they drafted one in like the fourth, I think.
Or was it the end of the first round? I think it was the end of the first round, wasn't it?
I'll fact that. Let's move
Fact
on
check
though,
me.
but I'll fact check that and bring back.
Yeah, but I'm going to continue with the 49ers because Trent Williams, also on the 49ers, one of the best tackles in the league, has been holding out for a new contract. He has 3 years still on his current contract for $75 million, but none of it is guaranteed. So the thought is that he's holding out so that his contract becomes like fully guaranteed, which I don't really blame him, being still one of the top dogs and he's in his 30s. Pay just give him his guaranteed money. I don't think they're too worried about it. I think he's going to get his contract situation figured out by the end of this week or next week as well, and I think they're going to have him on the field. So, should be good there. Should be.
Fred's mic cut out. Fact check. The Niners drafted Ricky Pearsall in the first round and Jacob Cowing in the fourth. So a decent investment in two rookie receivers.
Never heard of him. Interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, the Niners usually get everybody working pretty good, so I guess we'll see what happens there. But yeah, so we got a couple guys there. We also have one other holdout going on right now is actually on the Bengals. You might have heard of it. Jamar Chase has been holding out. He wants to be the highest paid receiver in football. And I mean, you can't argue with it too much. I mean, he's one of the best receivers for sure. Will the Bengals pay him? They're not really a team known for paying their homegrown talent in the past, but that was before the Super Bowl window opened up with Joe Burrow. So I think they're probably going to pay him. I don't see why they wouldn't. Hopefully they pay him soon because he literally, I believe, has said that he will hold out week 1 if he has to. So they're going to want him on the field.
Yeah, they're certainly going to want him out there. I mean, he's one of the best receivers in the league, if not the guys. It's the same situation we got going on there in Dallas, where you got one of these guys who is one of the elite talents in the league and deserves to be paid as such. And it's just there's definitely some workarounds you have to do if you're in the front office to surround the team with that elite talent while also keeping that person happy. I mean, you're looking at teams that have done it. You're looking at, I mean, somehow the Eagles did it. I don't want to just bring up the Eagles. Somehow they were able to pay both Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown. Tyreek Hill's paid recently. Like, he's got a good situation going. But at some point, guys move on for money. Are they going to stay where they're going to succeed, or are they going to move on for money? I mean, look at what happened to Devontae Adams. He left a situation where they were perennial contenders every single year. He probably was paid pretty good money anyway, but left Green Bay to go to the Raiders, where he's been mediocre. I mean, he's been a performer every year, but the team themselves are mediocre. So
yeah, he's been complaining every year too. Like, buddy, this is what you chose. What do you? Come on now,
yeah.
You chose money over Aaron Rodgers. So what are we doing? But the only other guy is actually playing with Aaron Rodgers at the moment, and that is Hassan Reddick. The Jets they just got this guy in the offseason, and he is now asking for a trade already. Week 1 hasn't started yet. What the heck's going on with this guy? I don't like. Are the Jets not offering him enough money? Is that what's the problem here? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is I'm glad we as the Eagles got out of that situation when we did. It was basically like a trade-off. We ended up getting Huff, and they got Hassan Reddick, and we got a draft pick out of it as well. And Hassan Reddick is proving to be a head case to where he wants crazy money. I think the issue is that most of it he wants to have guaranteed, where that's not going to happen as a linebacker. It's just not. It's just not something that's in the cards. I know he does get a crazy amount of sacks every year, but he's getting up there in age. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, the Jets have said they're not going to trade him. They want to get something out of him after they fucking got him from the Eagles. I think that'll probably work itself out, and I think Hassan Reddick will be playing for the Jets. I don't really expect any of these guys. I did think Brandon Ayuk at one point was going to get traded, but now I don't think any of these guys we just talked about are going to be playing anywhere else. I think they're all probably going to get paid. Maybe not Dak.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about that situation.
Drastic happens. Who knows? Not sure about who.
Not sure about Dak. That's the only one that I like. I'm not sure if the contract's going to get signed before the season. The rest of them, I think it's going to happen.
Well, especially because, I mean, they gave a decent amount of assets for Trey Lance, who was a first-round pick not long ago.
True.
And hasn't had a lot. The only thing that's really kept him off the field is injuries. But he has a lot of talent in that offense. If they keep CeeDee Lamb, and also just everything else that's in place. I mean, Ferguson's a hell of a tight end. They keep CeeDee Lamb in place there. Offensive line is still solid. Got some pass catching running backs there coming out of the backfield, but not anything special there. But I still think it's a good enough offense where you can plug somebody else in that has talent to do well. I mean, take a look at Gardner Minshew out, and he's got the Arizona. He's got the Oakland job right now. Oakland. Where am I talking? This is Vegas now, baby.
You're a couple years off.
Yeah, he's got the Vegas job. He's got the Vegas job, and you plug him into the Dallas offense, and he's going to be fine. I don't think Dak makes that offense, and that's the issue that I think is there right now. I think most people, including the fan base of the Cowboys and the Cowboys front office, are evaluating it, and they're saying Dak doesn't make this team. Whereas he thinks he does.
Yeah, I think even their backup quarterback looks good every time he comes in for Dak. Cooper Rush, and he was like an undrafted free agent. So, yeah, you might be onto something there. They might be good with whoever they put back there with the offense that they have. But let's go to trades. There was one notable trade, and that was Matt Judon. Patriots kind of legend. He's been there for a hot minute. The fans really love him, but they did end up trading him this year as he advances into older statesmanhood in the NFL. They traded him to the Falcons for a third-round pick, and he's a solid edge rusher. What do you think about that trade, man?
I like it. I mean, I like it for the Falcons. I think it's kind of minimal return, just 1/3 rounder there for the Pats. But I mean, with a team that is so young and kind of going in that full rebuild mode, they definitely need those picks to kind of meet their timeline. Somebody of Judon's age, even though is so talented, doesn't fit that. So I get the move. I like the move for both teams, really, just more so for the Falcons and the immediate return than the Patriots. From the Patriots, I probably would have tried to squeeze out a second, but a third-round pick is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, I think it's a solid pick. The Patriots are kind of like resetting right now, so they were offloading an older guy, and yeah, it makes sense all around. And the Falcons, I think he'll be solid for him. So it's a good trade all around, I think, as well. You want to talk about some injuries though?
Yeah, yeah. Let's
There's
jump
quite
at
a
him. The
few
only
going
one I
on right
got
now.
here is Warren out of Pittsburgh. Um, so that's going to be pretty impactful for their backfield. I mean, he was coming on very well last year to the point where people thought that he supplant the backfield there and really take over. But him going down with an injury that likely is going to keep him out for a couple weeks there to start the season, it leaves an opening wide open in that backfield.
Yeah, it's an already tough looking offense based on preseason so far. So the Jalen Warren injury might hurt. They do have Najee still, so we'll see what happens there. But it's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow. Speaking about running backs, we have a couple that are still injured from last year as well. Nick Chubb, for one, huge name. He's always being drafted very high in drafts. And I think his draft stock is taking a hit this year because he's probably going to miss some time. I don't think he's going to be ready for the regular season with that disturbing knee injury that he suffered last year.
Yeah, he's
It's pretty
not.
big.
And you're seeing him fall down draft boards pretty rapidly, going as far as rounds 8 through 12. Hell, if you can get somebody of Chubb's caliber in the 10th round, like by all means, just go ahead and grab
Yeah.
that without any hesitation. 8th round even, because I mean, if he comes back, even if he gives you half a season healthy, that's a phenomenal player you're getting at a talent at a time in the draft where the talent is far less.
Yeah, you never know about knee injuries though. Will he come back full? Like will he be Nick Chubb again? I mean, granted, people these days, it's not like it used to be. A lot of people come back and they're good to go with all the stuff that we got in the medical field these days. But it doesn't always work like that. Some players, they come back and the next year they're back, they just don't look the same. It might take a full year for them to get back to it, whether that's mentally or physically. So it remains to be seen what Nick Chubb will look like when he does get back on the field.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I do think he's one of those players though that it's definitely not going to be a mental thing. Don't see a Carson Wentz issue happening with him where he just completely falls off and is more near what he used to be. Different position, but same mental can affect everybody. But I don't think it's going to affect him. He's already in the weight room squatting like a beast, and I think he's going to come back pretty strong.
Yeah, I think he will too. Another running back that you have some intimacy with is Jonathan Brooks. He had an ACL tear last year. I believe it was an ACL tear, and he is probably going to go on the PUP list. It's looking like the Panthers. People do think that he's going to take over that backfield at some point, but we'll see. We're going to have to wait until we see what he can do out there. And the Panthers, I think they might need him. So we'll see.
Yeah, really good talent coming out of Texas there. And I mean, at this point, Texas looks like running back university right there. They're just putting people out left and right. And I don't think that he's going to be anything different. I think he's going to be a phenomenal get there for the Panthers. It's just a matter of when he can come come out and get healthy.
Yeah, I think he'll be good. So I'm looking forward to drafting him at some point, probably late in fantasy. So looking forward to it. Let's move to wide
Yes, you are. You're just
receivers.
looking forward to stealing one of my Texas guys.
I am, unless you draft him too early, because I'm not going to be drafting him early. I don't know. I don't know what your idea, what your plan is. So
might be my first round pick. I don't know.
Oh my god. Nick Chubb 1, Jonathan
you
Brooks
know me.
2.
I'm not going to draft anybody from the Panthers. So,
but yeah, let's move to wide receivers. One significant injury suffered in this preseason is to Rondale Moore, the wide receiver that was looking to make an impact this year on his new team, but he suffered a pretty rough knee injury, non-contact, and he is out for the season, unfortunately.
Falcons?
It's tough for him. Yeah, right, Falcons? I didn't write it down, of course.
No, because him and Darnell Mooney were two of my preseason sleepers as people to acquire. They were in shoot up draft boards. Well, not shoot up draft boards, but outperformed at ADP pretty dramatically. So, but unfortunately, he is injured and will not do that. So, Darnell Mooney, he's going to be a solid get.
Yeah, Rondale Moore though, I thought he was going to look so good next to Drake London, catching passes from Kirk Cousins, but happens. These things happen. Hopefully he gets healthy, and we will see him next year in this offense. Another wide receiver I did want to mention briefly, he's not huge in the news anymore, but that is Chase Claypool. Yeah, he got put on IR, and he is now getting released by his team. So, Chase Claypool, my question being posed to you.
Don't have receivers.
Yeah, it's not good. So, my question to you, Fred, is Chase Claypool done? Is he done?
Yeah. I think he's done. I mean, if Will Fuller is done, and Will Fuller was a better receiver, but he's done because of injuries, I think Claypool is going to be as well.
Yeah, I agree. He's been a head case and not good enough to be a head case. No. So yeah, I think
not
he's
good
done
enough
as well.
To be a head case. Often injured, and you can't be both of those if you're not going to be an elite receiver, and he certainly is not an elite receiver. Yeah. Speaking of previous kind of guys that have been out of the league for a while, Martavius Bryant.
Oh, is he back in?
He is back in the league.
I didn't even hear this.
Yeah. Who did he sign with?
Martavius Bryant signed with the Commanders.
Back with the Cowboys. No, Commanders. Yep, Commanders.
Commanders, so close.
Same division.
Yeah, same division. So
same division. Come back to the Commanders.
32 years old. He hasn't really played since, good God, since 2018. Oh my God. Wow.
Which I'm saying, how did he get on the radar? Like how did they even get in contact with him to get signed?
He was on the Cowboys practice squad for a bit last year, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty wild. He's 32 years old, born in the 90s, the early 90s. We'll see what happens, I guess. Will he do something on the Commanders? Will he get cut
32 years old. I don't know. So there's hope, baby.
There's hope. You should try out for the Eagles. Go catch some passes.
Hey, I was fast at one point in my life.
Yeah, like a decade ago. But yeah, another injury to update. TJ Hawkinson with his knee injury. It's looking like he is probably going to miss around a month of the regular season, which is tough news for anyone that wants a good tight end because there's not a lot of them, and TJ Hawkinson is one of them. So that's tough for fantasy. That's tough for the Lions. Vikings.
Lions have Sam Laporta, the truth. The truth there in Sam Laporta. So, yeah, better recognize.
I'm a little rusty. He was traded a couple years ago now.
And while I do love Sam Laporta, I would not, in redraft leagues, I would not take him at his current ADP. He's currently going in like the second, third round. I think that's far too early for a tight end. I think it's far too early. You can definitely get guys later on unless you have a tight end premium league, in which case it is beneficial to take them early. Trey McBride is currently the second tight end off the board in most leagues, which is crazy considering he didn't do anything until half of last year. Which
maybe
I'm a big fan of his. He was a stash of mine in Dynasty, but being the second tight end off the board after Travis Kelce, that's wild.
That is wild. High expectations in Arizona for him. I only got 2 more guys on my injury list, so I'm going to hit them real quick. One is Matt Milano of Buffalo. Poor guy tore his biceps. They just brought him back. He was going to be big for him this year, but he could miss the whole season with that torn biceps. They're hoping he can come back in December and hopefully get in there for a playoff run, but that remains to be seen. It's tough for the Bills and tough for Matt Milano.
Tough for the Bills. Might be a rough season for the Bills. I don't know about a playoff run because the offense. It's really going to be a truth moment for Josh Allen. Can he make the offense, or was the biggest part of his offense Stephon Diggs?
We'll see.
Yeah, because he lost
we
Diggs
will definitely see.
Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. So
yeah, they tried to replace him, but we'll see if that works out for him. I'd still like Keon Coleman, but who knows? One other injury is, of course, the rookie for the Vikings, and that is quarterback J.J. McCarthy. Knee injury for him, and he only got to play in one preseason game, and he is done for the season. That's tough for the Vikings, especially because they don't really have a quarterback ahead of him. I mean, unless you want to count Sam Darnold. I guess some people still believe in him. He has looked decent in the preseason, at least so far, but can you trust Sam Darnold for a full season on the Vikings? I don't know. He is going to have the best receiver in football, so maybe he has the best situation he's ever had.
But he does have like comically low accuracy rates. So I don't expect a whole lot. He's certainly gonna. Justin Jefferson's ADP is certainly falling down dramatically, and justifiably, rightfully so. It's you can't have a lot of confidence with a team with Sam Darnold at quarterback, especially with T.J. Hawkinson, like we already said, being injured, and Addison having his legal issues, getting the DUI, and he's also been battling injuries. So Addison's going to be an issue there as well. So it's pretty much just Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones, right?
Yeah, we just mentioned T.J. Hawkinson's injured, so yeah, it might be a tough year for the Vikings.
Yeah, certainly a tough year for them. They got a lot going on. I mean, they had the big signing of, like we said, Aaron Jones this offseason, but Hawkinson being injured or Addison, so much going on. What's going to happen next? Is Justin Jefferson going to take too much of a load and end up going down with an injury? I don't know.
Yeah. And speaking of Aaron Jones, I mean, he's an older running back. You never know when a running back is going to fall off. It happens very quickly. I'm not saying it's going to happen to Aaron Jones, but you just never know. And with the Vikings' luck recently, who knows? The Vikings are going to play the Giants. The Vikings are going to play the Giants in the first game of the year for those teams. So we'll find out quickly if either of those teams are going to be any good. And speaking of the Giants, former Giant Odell Beckham Jr. is still on the PUP list, and it has not even been running on the sidelines last I saw. So will the Dolphins get anything out of him? Will he even make the Dolphins team? I don't know. I don't care. I'm done with injuries.
It's definitely. I don't really care either. I mean, outside of his impact that he had with the Rams during the Super Bowl run, he hasn't really done much in the league since. So, first game of the NFL season, though, being September 5th, should be a great game. Baltimore, Kansas City. I'm personally excited for the Friday game, which is taking place in Brazil, which is Green Bay Packers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Don't like that it counts as a home game for the Eagles, but should be fun.
That will be fun. First game ever in Brazil, I think, right?
Oh, yeah. And the teams cannot wear green, which is problematic considering both teams are green.
Why would they pick 2 green teams?
Yeah. I think that's green. I think it was
that's strange
because I think one team's gonna have to wear black and the other team has to wear white. So, because of like gang affiliation, I believe in Brazil.
I guess that's why the Eagles are going to be the home team. They're going to be wearing black.
Yeah, I guess
that's weird.
Yeah, if you want to get into some other stuff, I've got a couple guys that I thought looked really good in the preseason so far, really good in training camp, have really made some ground. Preseason, I was a big fan of Javon Baker for the Patriots. He looks to be kind of buried on the depth chart right now. He hasn't gotten any first team snaps. I do think he's good long term for them. Very good sleeper pick. Maybe late in your draft or in Dynasty as a stash. But the big news out of the Patriots is Jalen Polk. Polk looks to be the favorite target there, looks to be the wide receiver 1 at this point. And also out of the Patriots, Drake May. Drake May is apparently securing the starting job there. It looks to be like he's going to be the starter over Brissett.
Yeah, I was about to ask you that because we both, I think, at least I did, I thought Jacoby Brissett was going to for sure be winning that battle and starting because he's looked pretty solid in the last few years. But Drake May, like you said, he has been outperforming Jacoby Brissett in the preseason and in training practices from what I've heard. So I think there's a very good chance we will be seeing Drake May week 1 starting. But is that a good idea? That's another question to ask because the Patriots don't look all that great. I know you mentioned a couple players that have been looking pretty solid, but as a team entirely, I don't think this offense looks all that good. And they're kind of going to be throwing Drake May into the fire. So will that be good for him? I don't know.
No. Yeah, I'm never a believer in throwing a rookie quarterback into the fire with a bad offensive line. And that's the biggest thing for me. I don't care how many weapons you have around that guy. I think a good quarterback is going to elevate the play of his guys, even if they are a rookie. But if they're very good, they're going to elevate people. Look what CJ Stroud did last year, but he was behind the power of an offensive line that was solid. The offensive line's key. If you're throwing a rookie quarterback behind a bad offensive line, it's just a recipe for disaster.
I agree entirely, and hopefully that doesn't happen to Drake May because I think he could be really good.
And based off of the Patriots training camp news and preseason stuff, I think honestly, like I would not be surprised if I don't think it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be shocked if Brissett wasn't there at some point this year because Joe Milton seems to be getting a lot of love there.
Don't give me Joe Milton. He is trash.
I don't think he's gonna start, but I think he can be the backup.
Dude, I live in Kentucky, right? I follow the University of Kentucky. They're huge rivals with Tennessee, so I've heard about Joe Milton, all right? Every single year, Joe Milton has absolutely annihilated everything in up until the season. And then when he gets actual opportunities in game, he is just abysmal, all right? I mean, the year he started, he wasn't terrible. I'll give him that. But his accuracy and his decision making is just not there. It's not there. He has a cannon and he can move. I'll give him that. An absolute cannon. Probably up there in the NFL even. But I don't think he will. I guess he could be their backup, like you're saying.
Look at a guy who people said the exact same thing of what you just said. Had accuracy issues, had low IQ, but had all the intangibles athletically, all the athletic tools, not intangibles, all the athletic tools to succeed. He was fast. He had a great arm. He big, but he just didn't have the mental ability there. Anthony Richardson.
He hasn't proven anything
was a first round pick last year. He looked very good when he was healthy, and then he wasn't healthy. But he
for
looked
like 2 games, dude. Has he even played in the preseason? I haven't heard anything about Anthony Richardson. To be honest,
I don't think so.
That's another big name. Like, what will we see from Anthony Richardson this year? He's big in fantasy. He's been shooting up boards, but he hasn't really proven much. Like you said, he did play solid in the few games he was in, but he got injured multiple times, and then he was out for the season, and he didn't look good in college, really. So I just don't know. I don't know about Anthony Richardson. I'm very skeptical about what he's going to be doing this year, despite all the hype he's getting.
Anthony Richardson was in a lot better of a situation than, in theory, let's just say Brissett and May get hurt and Joe Milton's thrown into the fire. Terrible situation. Bad offensive line, bad weapons, bad defense, terrible situation. Colts, on the other hand, good offensive line. Pittman as a wide receiver.
One of the best.
Downs as a wide receiver. Solid defense. Good coaching. So he was in a far better situation to succeed. But Joe Milton, I like Joe Milton. I don't think he's a really good quarterback, but he's one of my guys. I hope they make it.
Yeah, we'll see. He'll be a fun watch for sure if he does get on the field. So
just because the athletic gifts that he has, he'd be very fun to watch.
Yeah, I would agree with that. What else you got? I got some stuff.
One guy who going the opposite of Polk, who has not looked good so far, who I was pretty high on early on, still am, Troy Franklin. He's been battling drops for the Broncos, and he does not look to be accelerating right now. I do think at some point this year he's going to be very good. It just might be a slow start to the season. But staying with the Broncos, Bo Nix, who both of us like, I believe, is securing the starting job for the Broncos.
Yeah, dude. Bo Nix has looked really good in the preseason so far. He absolutely destroyed Jarrett Stidham and fucking the Jets' former quarterback. Was it? I can't even remember his name. That's how much I don't care about him. But yeah, Bo Nix has looked so good lately, and I'm kind of excited. Like when he got drafted, I was literally, even before he got drafted, I was like, this is Sean Payton's Drew Brees 2.0, which is crazy to even say. Like Drew Brees is a legend, but Bo Nix kind of just looks like Drew Brees out there to me. He makes great decisions. He doesn't have an amazing arm, but good enough to make all the throws you need to do. And I just think he's going to be perfect for this Broncos offense. So I'm excited for him and
He just
all
seems
the
like a
other
winner.
rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah, he seems like a winner. He's got grit. I like his approach to the game a lot. I've been a big Bo Nix guy for a while. Plus, he's a sick name for a quarterback. Bo Nix, like it's perfect
It
quarterback
is.
name. Fun fact: do you know the last time the Broncos had a rookie quarterback starting their season opener?
Was it Tebow?
Nope. Go back further.
Further? Oh, geez, I don't know. Jay Cutler? Who?
Go back further.
Further? I have no idea. How far? John Elway?
1983, John Elway was
Oh
the
my
last
God.
time a rookie quarterback made the season start for the Broncos.
Wow. Bo Nix is John Elway. You heard it here.
Heard it here.
A mix of John Elway and Drew
I
Brees. Who
think
would have thought?
he will. That's why I do think Troy Franklin's going to do well there. I think he's going to elevate the play of be elevated because of Bo Nix. They had that
He's
communication.
got a couple guys in front of him, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, a couple guys in front of it, but I mean they were the 1-2 punch at Oregon. So I mean they have that communication, they have that connection. I can see that being like what Tank Dell was for the Texans, where CJ Stroud, while he wasn't Tank Dell's quarterback, they were good friends. They had a connection. He's straight up said to the Texans, like, draft this guy. This is who I want. So I think it's a similar situation there. I think it's going to elevate the play of Troy Franklin to have Bo Nix as the starting quarterback there going forward.
Yeah, I mean, they got Cortland Sutton still. They got the rookie from, was it last year or the year before, Marvin Mims. And then they also have Tim Patrick from that injury. So they got weapons.
Yeah.
They got weapons for Bo Nix over there.
They do have weapons.
It should be fun.
They do have weapons. Sutton is a guy rumored to be on the trade market, so you could see him going out at some point. Certainly a lot easier of a get than a guy like Ayuk or one of the bigger names that are out there in the trade.
Facts. I want to stick with rookie quarterbacks real quick because I wanted to talk about the Commanders quarterback, Jaden Daniels. He's a guy that since he was drafted, I've been extremely skeptical of because I didn't think he was. I mean, he had a really good year for LSU, but I didn't think before that. I didn't think he was all that good, and I think he's really skinny. He could be injury prone in the league.
Very skinny.
But honestly, in the preseason, he has looked really good so far for the Commanders. He easily surpassed your former quarterback for the Eagles, Marcus Mariota. And he'll be starting, but
he's not my
I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of excited to see what Jaden Daniels can do with the Commanders, though. I don't think they'll win much, but I think they'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, he's listed at 210. I don't think he's 210 pounds. That man is skin and bones out there on the field. He's very fast. He's got a lot of athletic gifts, but he does look very good on the field. I just don't buy him being healthy long term. I just think he's too small to do it. I could see him having a G3 rookie year or completely falling apart. I don't know. But you can also see him being very injury prone because of his size, like you said.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, he's I don't know. This is what I thought about Bryce Young though too. I thought he was going to be super injury prone, and he was healthy for the most part last year. So I guess time will tell. He just sucked. Hopefully Daniels doesn't suck, but we will find out soon. And then I did want to hit the
for us in division, we might want him to be good.
Yeah, true that. But I did want to hit the other rookie quarterback as well while we're on the topic in Caleb Williams. He's also looked fairly good in the Bears preseason games and in their camp too. And I'm excited to see what he can do too. The Bears, we've talked about it already, but in former episodes, but the Bears really set up the table for him, and he's raring and ready to go in Chicago. So he should be a fun watch as well this year.
I mean, the Bears are certainly going to be fun. They have a lot of opens there. I mean, they have receiver room is loaded for them, and they certainly held no expense with setting him up for success there. Certainly the most zesty quarterback, not only in the draft but probably in the league. But I do think that he's going to be a solid quarterback in the league. I don't know that he's going to be the next Tom Brady, almost
Yeah.
said before, but Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he's going to be the guy for those. I think he's going to probably have a similar career path to Trevor Lawrence to this point. I mean, Trevor Lawrence was the truth in man. It hasn't done much. He had one very playoff comeback win against the Chargers one point, but other than that, does he justify his transaction that he got or his new payout? Probably not. I think Williams will be solid, but to justify his draft position, the stock that went into him, I don't know that he's going to live up to that. But yeah, I mean the Bears do have so much in place though. They have Swift, Moore, Allen, Adunzi, Clement, so many people in place to take him out. So
Yeah, he's been
he
hooking up
doesn't
with
succeed.
Adunze in the preseason too, and it's been looking good. I'm pumped to see that duo. I think Adunze is going to have a good year.
Yeah, he has been hooking up with Adunzi a lot, and I actually have Adunzi as that's what I actually have written down is somebody that stood out there in the preseason is Adunzi. He had a nice 45-yard grab from him, and with Allen's size increase, Allen's rumored to be about 240 pounds right now. So could Roma Dunzi take that second job from Keenan Allen at some point this year? He's out
That'd be
there in
interesting.
age, pretty
I could see it.
slow. I don't know.
I could see it for sure. Injury prone. Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
What other news items or whatever did you have?
Yeah, there's some other people that stood out to me. You mentioned that they sucked, looked pretty bad this year, but your guys' neighbors looks to be a very, very good get for you. He might be the best receiver
sir.
coming out of this draft. Looks phenomenal. His injury that he does have, a current injury, right?
Yeah, he hurt his he like twisted his ankle or something. It was really nervous to when it happened, like all Giants injuries are for me, but it looks like he's going to be fine. He'll be out there week 1.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just seen down draft boards, his ADP's fallen not a ton, but it's fallen down just because of it. People are nervous there to start the season, but he should be a tremendous get and phenomenal talent. I don't know if he'll lead the offense in targets in there, but I certainly should. Definitely your best talent.
I think he will. I think they're going to force a lot of stuff to him because there were times when he was not even open and DJ or whoever, Tommy Cutlets, just threw it up and he just went up and got it. So he's a guy that's going to be getting targets. He's going to be making plays. He's going to be forcing plays.
He's going to get 130 targets.
Maybe. I think he's literally, it doesn't matter who throws the ball to him. He's just such a talent that he's going to be crazy out there. And the Giants make me nervous, though, because the quarterback situation has looked so bad in the preseason, man. Daniel Jones looked absolutely awful in the second game. Drew Lock looked absolutely awful in the first game and got hurt. And Tommy Cutlets hasn't. I mean, he's Tommy Cutlets. He's who he is. You know, he's not going to be your starting quarterback type guy. So I don't know what the Giants are going to do. Hopefully, Daniel Jones can play good and get Neighbors the ball and win some games, but I'm very skeptical.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough and definitely a tough situation. I've never been a huge believer of Daniel Jones. Don't know why you guys gave him that contract. Pretty dumb move, to be honest. So, but kind of sticking with rookie wide receivers, going over to the other New York squad, up in Northern New York, the real New York squad, the Buffalo Bills. Keon Coleman, we already talked about him. He has been looking phenomenal. He definitely is a league winner. There's a lot of targets there to be had with Diggs and Gabe Davis going out, so going elsewhere. Like, what more is there to talk about? He's looked very good. The opportunity's there. He's got Josh Allen as a quarterback. Way different situation than you with Daniel Jones. So he has a really good quarterback with a really good arm. Great situation for Keon Coleman, and he should be a league winner. Although my bet to win to lead the league in lead the team in targets is Dalton Kincaid, who is another league winner and should skyrocket up draft boards because he is a super talent. And honestly, he's just like a bigger receiver, more so than a tight end.
Yeah, he really is. I think you're really hitting the money there with those two names. I think both of them will be getting the the Diggs treatment that he got last year, like replacing his production basically. And I do like the guy that they brought in from the Commanders though as well. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he's quick.
Samuel.
And Curtis Samuel. He's quick, and I think he's going to make some plays in this offense as well. It should be fun. I know it's a lot of question marks right now, but I think it'll be fun.
I'm certainly happy that I have Cook in my Dynasty League because I think he's going to be like the face of that offense.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
Yeah.
Other than Josh Allen, for sure.
Other than Josh Allen, yeah, obviously. And then the last rookie I have on my rookie watch, the rich get richer. The Kansas City Chiefs, Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
Like, he's already looking like a seasoned vet out on the field against people. Like, whether it's in practice, preseason, he was just dusting people, leaving them leaving them behind him, putting them on skates, whatever you want to call it. Like, he's looked awesome. Whether it was Mahomes out there or Carson Wentz, he's looked great, and just fuck the Chiefs for getting him. Like, he's getting the opportunity now with Hollywood Brown out and with Rashee Rice battling the legal issues. But once those guys come back, having Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, and Hollywood Brown plus Travis Kelce, like, come on, man, that's just.
Yeah, I think the only thing you can really do about him is like play press and try to bully him away from getting to the ball.
He's very thin. So that's really your only hope.
Just beat the hell out of him. That's your only chance.
Beat the hell out of him. Speaking of Kansas City, they also have my running back pick of the year. I think that Isaiah Pacheco is an absolute stud and is going to be a top 5 running back this year.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be phenomenal. Phenomenal running back. I have Bijan as my RB1. Just because of what the Falcons have said, that they're going to run the whole offense around him, give him the CMC treatment, have him supplanting CMC as the RB1. So CMC is my slam bet every single week of the season, though, to get a touchdown.
CMC, yeah. He's got to be. Speaking of RB1s, though, there's 2 guys that I have my eyeballs on for, like, comeback players this year. And both at running back, that is, of course, Saquon Barkley, because I love him. Unfortunately, he's on the Eagles, but he's going to have great blocking there. So I think he could have a huge year. And then another guy I think will come back is JT, Jonathan Taylor for the Colts. He was like the best, or one of the best running backs just a few years ago. And I think he can get back to it this year. I think it might be the year to draft him high again.
Yeah, I think I agree there. I obviously think that Saquon Barkley is going to be a stud. I mean, the Eagles gave DeAndre Swift his best season. The Eagles had a great offense there with Miles Sanders there the year prior, had his best season there. So they just make good running backs there. And bringing in a talent like Saquon Barkley, like going from a bottom of the league offensive line to a top of the league offensive line in terms of run protection, like, it's just going to be so much more beneficial to him. Not only staying healthy, but just his production too. So definitely agree there.
Yeah, I know we gotta wrap it up kind of soon here. I did want to shit talk somebody real quick though. Yeah, I want to shit talk Derek Carr real quick because he has been outplayed in the preseason and in camp, from what we're hearing, by the rookie Spencer Rattler out of South Carolina. That is crazy, dude. Derek Carr, you're being paid, man. You're one of the higher paid quarterbacks. You should be doing very well over there in New Orleans. Like, I know he's getting older and he's kind of on the downslide, and maybe the Saints offense is a little old and outdated, but dude, you're getting outplayed by Spencer Rattler, the rookie. Come on now. You can't be doing
the rookie
that.
That was deemed to be
Derek Carr. Yeah, get your shit together, Derek Carr. The Saints need you. Everyone's going to get fired if you're not doing well out there, okay? So,
and before we wrap up, I'm just going to go ahead and rattle off a couple sleepers here who I think are really good draft gets. I'm saying in Dynasty Leagues, try to buy low on Tank Dell. He's projecting as like the wide receiver 3 there right now, but I'm not sold on Nico Collins long term. He only had one good productive year. Stephon Diggs has fallen down he should fall down pretty dramatically compared to his time. Was volume based, and he's not going to get that in Houston. I'm buying Tank Dell long term. I think a breakout candidate for running back this year is going to be Chase Brown with the Bengals. Rumor is that he is looking at like an absolute stud, is probably going to secure the starting job there. Will Levis is a breakout candidate for me with Tennessee. I'm a big Will Levis guy. I like him a lot, so I think he's going to be very good there. And then another breakout, kind of two breakouts here. We get the Chargers. Obviously, Ladd McConkey, he's projecting as a steal. I don't think he's a steal. He's a first-round pick. There's not much of a steal factor there to that. And I think Josh Palmer, though, and DJ Chark are steals. Both of them have shown to be productive in the past as wide receiver threes, but there is 150 targets from Keenan Allen coming and 90 plus healthy targets from Mike Williams. So that's a shit ton of targets. They're not all going to go to Ladd McConkey. So who are they going to go to? Are they going to go to Josh Palmer, DJ Chark? Who knows? Palmer is my bet, but I think both guys are going to be solid. I do think your dude from the Giants, Theo Johnson, has looked good as a tight end. Not buying the offense as a whole, but I do think he's looked pretty solid. And as a wide receiver coming out of Vegas, not named Devontae Adams, I think Trey Tucker has looked awesome. Quarterback play is suspect there, even if it is my guy Gardner Minshew, but Trey Tucker's looked good.
All right, that's Fred's Fantasy Corner. So I love saying that. It's so funny. But this was a fun episode. Fun first episode of the year. I'm excited to get with you every week and talk. When are we gonna? We don't really have a schedule for what we're doing this year yet, do we?
Come out with it. We'll come out with it.
We'll come out with it, yeah.
We'll come out with it. I'll have a better camera next time, so fingers crossed on that. So camera just died on me. Just shot.
It's tough. That's tough.
Yeah,
we're gonna have previews and reviews every week, just like last year. I'm not sure yet if we're gonna be like separating Thursday night games or what we're gonna do, but we'll figure it out. And we're gonna be getting the content to you, and we're gonna be having a good time doing it. So,
But yeah, it's been a good time talking with you, though. We're in longer than we want, but it happens. Hope you all have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. And as always, check us out on social media at Flea Flicker Show. Check us out wherever you get your podcast, on Spotify, Apple, wherever it might be. And until next time.
Peace.